boys.
Good evening, buddies.
Wow, our little announcer, Fezzy. What a potty mouth.
You leave our one-eyed weatherman out of this, Missy.
I just can't stop thinking about him. Sorry, guys.
Stop it. You know, you keep playing that game, somebody's going to get effed. I'm telling you right now.
I've seen it happen. I've held ankles.
Thank you, Fez, as always.
No problem, my friend.
And that was actually even without Dukes last night, bound and gagged with ham in his mouth. And if you don't know what that means, that's why you should never turn off this radio program.
Exactly. You don't know what you're going to miss or what metal god from Judas Priest might stop by.
You know, one time I almost said Iron Maiden to him because I'm the anti-trunk, Fezzy.
Oh, right.
It is the Ron and Fez Show, 877-692-1027.
Good evening, everyone.
Fez, you got a little political talk for us tonight, huh? A little political stuff, huh?
Little political stuff right out of get here, Ronnie. Now, there's a Brooklyn Assemblyman Felix Ortiz. He's a Democrat, and he wants to lower the drinking age, Ronnie. The legal drinking age. He wants it back down to 18, from 21 to 18.
Now, is that just in his district, or?
I think that's everywhere.
See, I would like to see him actually just have one district that did that.
And just see how it works out.
Kidstown.
Kidstown, I would love. I would run for mayor.
Could you imagine?
I'm not a kid.
Can you imagine the business you would do in spring break alone?
Right there in Kidstown.
Or, you know, some 41 concerts where all of a sudden the kids are drinking. You'd see a lot less straight-edge kids awful quick, I think.
So Assemblyman Ortiz, he says these kids are drinking already.
Oh, wait, kid, let's make some money off them.
And, of course, the old argument that if a person can vote or go to war,
right,
why shouldn't they be allowed to drink? If they're old enough to do those things.
It's tough to fight that. Now, why did they suddenly say no, kids can't drink? Because of car accidents?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
And what happens is, I believe the federal government, they'll like hold the state hostages. They'll say, you're not going to get your highway money unless you go along with this whole 21 thing, and we do this nationally.
That's how they beat it.
You know, if there's a state, Texas, you want to keep it at 18 or 19 or whatever it was, you know, you're not going to get any Fed funds till you raise it.
So, this guy doesn't stand a chance in hell, right?
No, this isn't going to happen. Personally, I'd like to see everything raised to 21, whether it's driving, voting, army.
Everything except for abortions. Let's keep that as young as they need.
Let's not go crazy.
Let's keep that as young as they need. Well, here's the other thing. I'll say, and I understand if they can vote and go in the army. But unless you've been in a club with a bunch of teenagers, that's hell. You're sitting in there trying to have a nice cocktail, and they're over headbutting each other and screaming and starting a mosh pit. You don't need that, Fuzzy. You're trying to relax.
Sure. Now, I know the bar in my neighborhood, there's a sign on the door that says must be 25 to enter.
Gay bars, you have to be 25 to enter?
I didn't say gay bar. I said in my neighborhood.
Okay, sorry. How can they get away with that? You got to be 25. Are they a private club?
Maybe that's how they sell themselves. But it seems like if you're 21 and you're old enough to drink and be at a bar, you should be allowed to go into a bar and drink.
Yeah, if they put up, no blacks, no Irish, people would be going nuts.
Oh, God. How can God's here.
You could be 21 or 22 and you can't get in the Julie's Sports Bar. How does that even make sense?
It's a sports bar. Who enjoys sports more than 21-year-olds?
But they're so damn loud.
Yeah, they are. So this is not going to happen.
All right, Fezzy, what age did you start drinking?
I started drinking when I was 15. I had my first beer when I was 15.
I had my first drink much, much younger, like at a ridiculously young age. But I became like a normal weekend drinker by 14. At that age, it was just assumed Friday we were getting some liquor.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I started regularly drinking. Now, when I was about 9 or 10... my sister's high school friends grabbed me and gave me shots.
Right.
So I remember that weird night.
Was that when you got felled up?
I don't believe I got felled up.
So I think a lot of people start drinking at that young age, although there's this new straight edge thing. Let me check with Rory Hamptons. Rory, what age you become a normal drinker?
I had my first drink when I was 11, but I became a normal drinker when I was 14 and 15.
Yeah, I think, if you're going to become a problem drinker, as this show is, whether, we have people in the program and not yet in the program.
I enjoyed the program.
But, it seems like when you hit those mid-teen years, you think, why go to a movie? Why go to the dance? Why go anywhere unless we're already drunk?
I was fortunate enough to be growing full beards by the time I was 14. So I was the one who got sent in to buy the booze.
Sure. There's
and
always
usually
nice
worked.
That guy.
Usually worked.
You were the Butchie Pasek of your neighborhood, were you?
No, Butchie was the Fez Watley of his.
Oh, okay. All right, let me check over here with the man that really, after 5 rehabs, Fezzy.
2 of them sleepaway rehabs.
Sure. And also the human sound effects machine, Billy Staples.
He's so gross.
Billy, what age did you become a kind of every Friday and Saturday night drinker?
Probably age 12, but I remember drinking much earlier than that with my parents. But age 12, we used to sneak out and buy beers.
So your family let you drink too?
Yeah.
Is that an Irish family?
Part, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what my family was like. It was kind of cute to them.
Yeah,
now in hindsight, they're almost that HBO ecstasy dad, but they have a little bit thing, or just just finish it. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
My parents never drank. They just never did. But the neighbor's dad drank, and that's where we would get beers when we were kids.
Yeah.
He would give us sips of his beer.
All right, so you were 12 years old, so you were drunk at a Little League game.
Yeah, actually, it was in junior high when we were the football team. We went out.
He's 12 years old. He's on deck and he's doing shots.
You're a really bad after-school special.
Yeah, but it was fun back then. But getting chased by the cops and ditching the beer.
Oh, sure, yeah, right.
That's fun.
Keg parties in the field.
Oh yeah,
that was always the best. That was literally the best feeling in the world, to walk out in the middle of some field or the woods and there's a keg there.
That's when drinking was just fun.
Yeah, right. It stops after you can legally do it, and you're in those bars at yourself looking at the bottom of your drink like there's an answer there. And you spend half your time going, F her.
Looking at the clock going, I'm never getting up for work.
Yeah, this is never happening again. All right, let me check with the Tenacious C. I know you're a little bit of a party girl, C.
She's a big weed head.
I think I had my first drink when I was like 12 or 13.
So hot.
But it was more like 15 when it became.
A normal drinker?
Yeah.
What age with the weed?
Probably 16.
Slutty.
What was your drink of choice back then?
Whatever we could get out of the liquor attic.
Tanqueray.
Anything we could steal.
14-year-old girl sitting around having gin and tonic.
I have a slow gin fizz. Girls always went for that angle.
I remember a lot of creamed and mint. It was really disgusting.
That's beautiful.
And the Boone's Farm.
Oh,
yeah, Boney. Right, here's Oscar. Oscar, you're on the Fez.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Oscar.
Hey, when I was 3, Spanish people love to give little kids sips of beers at parties. And sometimes when you give the kid the beer, they make that funny face and run away.
Yeah, it's always funny to an adult, yeah.
Yeah, but not me. I just loved it. And then it got to the point where actually I would make a fuss at a party if I didn't get any liquor.
Sure.
And it went on for about 6 months before my godfather finally gave me a hard shot of whiskey, and that knocked me out of it.
And you stopped drinking because of that?
Yeah, well, again, I was 3 years old, and if I didn't get if I saw an adult with a sip of beer, I would tug on them till they gave me a sip.
Okay,
and since each one thought that they were the first one giving it to me, they thought it was cool. They thought it was just cool in the game.
So you were 3 years old, and they were giving you a shot to stop your habit.
Well, no, they had to give me, a straight-up shot of whiskey.
Now, today, if this came up, they would take the child away from the family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but, it didn't make me a bad person.
No, don't make you a bad person at all. Are you a drinker now, Oscar?
No, not really. Not until I was 19 did I really start. And then the first time I actually had a shot of Glenlivet's, it all came right back to me.
Right, you remember it brought back 3-year-old memories?
It felt like being a toddler again.
Sure.
Well, no, as soon as somebody had recommended that I try the Glenlivet's, and as soon as I tried it, it just felt like it really felt like if I was back there. Because the big thing happened one time at a wedding reception, because I just started making a big fuss. I started crying and just throwing a whole temper tantrum because nobody would give me a sip of beer.
Oh my gosh, we go through the same thing with Billy on a Friday night.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but in your family, when babies were teething, did they ever put whiskey on their gums? Because they did that in my family. Just rubbing a little whiskey on the baby's gums is, you know.
I think they did it with my baby brother Travis. Yeah. I don't remember getting it myself at all.
I don't, you know, it's a fairly common thing. Here is Joe. Joe, you're on Run of Fez. Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
If you enjoy drinking, you're going to answer yes to every question on that list. It's a setup. I mean, just because you enjoy more what you're doing because you're having a drink, that's because you know what you're doing. It's just because you're relaxed.
Joe, do you remember us reading a list of any kind?
You think I was talking about alcoholics, whatever, the AA thing slightly. You mentioned it, you know, it came up briefly.
We never read the AA list or anything about it.
Yeah. Well, he talked about making it a serious issue, and I'm just saying that whole thing is meant to mess you up in the head to take yourself seriously. If you enjoy drinking,
Joe,
that list, you're going to say yes to everything on that freaking list. It's
a little guilty and a little paranoid here. But no one read any questions off any list.
I was wondering, did you guys read a list or anything?
No, we didn't ask you to check anything off.
Oh, there was no list?
No, you drunk.
I was talking about a separate subject, apparently?
Yes.
Oh, well, what was I thinking?
Did you even call the right show?
Are you drunk?
I thought this guy, I was trying to lift you guys up a little bit. I figured this guy was bringing you down. I figured I'd make fun of the seriousness of it, but I apologize.
So, Joe, in your mind, you heard somebody accusing us being of alcoholics and reading a list and giving us a test?
In my mind and in my ears, I heard the guy 2 seconds ago going, I had a problem. I was crying at my wedding, and I just couldn't, I had everything on that,
You got that out of Oscar's phone call?
The guy 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's...
for like 2 minutes.
You may be listening to a different radio station.
It's very possible. I have to check my Greek lettering.
Wow. All right, thanks, Joe.
Joe, if anyone should maybe check into any sort of program, it might be you.
That's whack.
He heard a completely different thing.
Don't worry, Ron and Fez. Any drinker would answer yes to that list. What list? The list.
I started looking through papers. Oh, where's the list?
The AA list.
Where's the list?
Let me check with Billy, who was in a 12-step program. Billy.
Billy drinks around the house.
Nice. Is there a AA list?
Yeah, it's a test that you're supposed to take.
All right, go get that test for us off the...
Okay, I'm getting it.
Out of your wallet.
Out of your wallet. He looked at it...
He said, look, Ma, 100. I finally got 100.
All they'd have to do to let him know he has a problem is hand him a mirror.
Is that part of the test? Oh, my gosh, you did have it.
Yeah. Well, you had this with you already?
No, I was already looking it up before.
All right, let me check out this list. I frequently find that my conversation centers or drug or drinking experiences. Yes, that's me.
That's true.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and say yes.
It's actually all my funny stories. But most of everybody I grew up with stories always start like this. Hey, last Saturday, we were so effed up. And no matter what it was, we went to my sister's wedding. We were so effed up. We're on the airplane, all effed up, no matter what happens.
It's a life of effed up.
And when I knew that I had a problem, I met some friends in Orlando that had come down from up north, and we went to Disney World, one ride, spent the rest of the day at the bar in one of the hotels, running back and forth to the back of the toilet for little extracurricular activities there. Off the toilet seats.
Oh, it is the happiest place on earth.
All right, I get high to deal with tension or physical stress, yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't have that one.
Most of my friends are acquaintances of people I drink or get high with, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have lost days of school or work because, yeah, of course.
Well, in the past.
I have had the shakes without, I don't know about that. Have you had the shakes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes?
No, not now, but I have.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I have, if you count the other naughty stuff. I don't think from drinking. But the other stuff, you gotta commit to. All right, I've been arrested for driving under the influence. Hello.
Nope.
Yep.
That's you, Staples. I never got a DWI. I get high or take a drink upon awakening before eating or while at school. Well, when I was in high school on the way in, you might do a doobie. But, I think you got to be an animal to be drinking.
Well, I have done it, especially with a bad hangover to try the hair of the dog or whatever.
Right. Yeah, and remember, in high school, you might want to do a little speed before you went in. So that's a problem.
No for me on that one.
Family members think drinking or other drugs is a problem for them. Yeah. Yeah, we all tell you that, Billy. You don't listen.
No, I don't have that one.
I have tried to quit using substances, but cannot.
Yep.
Now that would
I've
probably...
never tried quitting.
Here's the thing. That's the thing. Most people, if you just even gave it 5-6 weeks, you might be surprised. It's not as easy.
How hard it is?
Yeah, it's not as easy, even if you're just a social drinker. When you take that thing, try going to a wedding without a couple of drinks and see if you stay too long. Because there's nothing worse if you're sober at a wedding.
Especially when the drinks are free.
And when you're drinking, there's nothing better when that bar finally opens.
Or be around here on a Friday night when you're the only non-drunk one. Oh, my God, you'd be surprised how difficult it is sometimes. Alpha double up or gulp drinks? Sure. Again, you got to get there first. You get to the wedding, hit a couple at the bar, and then start to walk around with a drink.
You know what I used to do at the wedding? They give you these little drink cups. I used to go bring the water glass back to the bartender and said, don't use those little glasses. Bring back the big water glass.
Classy. Nice.
I regularly hide alcohol and drugs from those close to me. Yeah, I had to do that because I'm not sharing everything. How about somebody else buys a bundle? Is that a big problem here, Flat? I often take a drink or drugs to get ready for a social occasion. Again, yeah, that's probably most people.
Mm-hmm.
That they're going to have a drink because it's the office party. They wouldn't be drinking that night, but you're at the office party, you have a drink.
So you want to, get yourself in the mood.
Loosen up.
To deal with those people.
Definitely loosen up, or because you have the opportunity. I don't know if that makes you an alcoholic. My drinking or use of drugs has led to conflict with my friends or family member. Well, anybody who hasn't had a fight when they're drinking really doesn't drink.
Well, when you come home after drinking.
Sure.
Boy, you checked them all off, huh, Bill?
Yeah, I'm doing good so far.
Yeah. It's the first thing he ever got 100% on in his life.
A+, ma.
All right, here's Dan. Dan, you're on Ron and Fez. Hey, Dan.
Hello, boys.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Jewish household, so of course I've been drinking wine my entire life. And, when the baby is 8 days old at his breast, they give him a little bit of wine to numb the pain. So
Yeah, they're going to need more than wine to numb that pain.
I don't know.
That's the age they should be giving out morphine.
Well, you're 8 days old. You don't really feel it. You don't remember it.
The baby cries. How could they not feel it?
I don't know. Do you remember feeling pain before you were maybe a year old?
That doesn't mean that you didn't feel it at the time.
And that the trauma isn't getting embedded on some deep cell level.
Do you think it is, Fez?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that believe that.
You know why? That's because if you see somebody, like in a movie, get whacked in the crotch, in the junk, you still cover yourself up. That's
because you've seen it happen before.
Yeah, you know.
Or you think it goes all the way back to when they...
Yeah, it goes all the way back like that. Anyone who has any guy that has a fear of knives, I'm sure that goes back to that.
All right, here's...
That's the day we learned to cringe.
Here's Mark. Mark, you're on a Fez.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Yeah.
Just bringing back some good memories here listening to this stuff. I remember I think it was 7th grade, and they had that Sarah T., the teenage alcoholic movie they made us watch in health class.
That was Mr. T's daughter.
No, wait. There was a hot chick who starred in that. Did they actually make her bark and lick her out of a bowl? Because I think I remember this one.
This sounds like the best movie of all time.
Well,
I think it was Linda Blair.
Wow, that would make sense. That sounds like a Linda Blair project.
The funny thing is we had one of the bad girls was in our class, and she brought in a bottle of vodka and was passing it around the back. So during the teenage alcoholic movie, everybody was taking shots of vodka.
It's like you're in one of the scenes.
I'll tell you, we are talking to a guy tonight. There's a new documentary that I guess he shot in 86, Fez.
Right. It's called Heavy Metal Parking Lot.
Heavy Metal Parking Lot from the 80s, and this was outside of Judas Priest show, and everybody was effed up.
In one form or another. They were just not. And these guys took their cameras around and just talked to everyone. Practically incoherent.
Hey, Mario. Mario, you're on Fez.
Hey, Mario.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I think they left something off that list. I think if your last name begins in an O or a Fitz, I believe you're also on.
You're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Thanks, sit.
Later.
Might be one of the signs. You never know.
Yeah, I'd pretty much bet on that one. is Tony. Tony, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
So you left a question off that list, I think.
What's that?
Asking if your drinking has led you to wipe yourself with someone's paycheck.
That would be Billy.
Billy might be the only one that's ever crossed that one off.
I know now that joking with fecal matter is never justified.
Hi, Billy.
I got to read an instant feedback here, Fezzy. It's a little bit sad by a guy named Daniel.
Oh, all right. We'll see what's going on.
Talking about teenage drinking. This is what he wrote to us. He says, Ron and Fez, did you guys ever have anyone get hurt in an accident driving drunk from a field party? We had 2 girls that left, one drunk, and got in a wreck. Everyone wore ribbons to school and felt sorry for them because they were both in wheelchairs. The next school year, they could walk again, and everyone made fun of them, just like before. Ain't high school great? Thank you, Daniel.
Wow. That really puts it in perspective. Any of you kids listening, I hope you take that to heart.
Hey, John, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that the girl from the Sarah T movie was Valerie Bertinelli, Van Halen.
Really? Who actually married an alcoholic? Was she hot in it?
Yeah, she was pretty young. You know, Mark Hamill was in that movie, too.
Is that right?
Nice.
Yeah.
How was he? Was he hot in it?
Stop it, Fez. Stop that laugh.
Crazy laugh. 877-692-1027.
Now, you have to admit this. Young girls getting drunk, they look so hot. Now, an older woman, they look like crap when they're drunk.
That's weird. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I wonder what the cutoff is. Because, I mean, just picture him in the same position. Just passed out like on the floor on the bed.
Right.
Young girl, skirt up, passed out.
Right.
Or 60-year-old woman passed out, skirt up on the floor.
All right, let's do this here. All right, now I want all the guys to visualize this, okay? All the guys on the show. Matter of fact, everybody who's out in the hall, come in and help me visualize this. Give me some visualization music, too. Would you, Hawk? Anything that's going to help everybody. And I don't want to hypnotize you guys on the show, but I do like to prove a point, okay? Because, you know, Fez has brought that up, that... yeah, something that just sounds new agey. There you go.
There you go.
It'll help with the visualization process.
All right. Get me loaded there. Okay, we got all the guys in?
Yeah, everybody, and kind of close your eyes as we're doing it. No, this isn't it. This isn't new agey. You know, new agey, like a piano thing that's just spacey. We don't have any of that kind of music?
I know we should because we always ask for it.
Right.
So we should definitely have some.
How can we not have this? But all of a sudden, he's giving me some southern soulful music because it's on a Moby disc. You can't visualize that. You need that real weird kind of a synthesizer thing.
You have something here?
No, let's try this. It's a little... All right, let's bring it down a little bit. It stinks, but we're going to try. But after this, we're going to need stuff that we can visualize.
Like we always effing say.
All right, now here's what we're going to do, just to show the different cutoff dates, guys. And clear your minds. I want all the producers just clear your minds. And I want you to visualize a very drunk Tenacious C. She's staggering around. She's kind of falling out of the top of her skirt. You know, she's giggling and nothing. And finally she passes out. And her skirt just like flops up and she's laying there. You're actually going to think to yourself, oh my God, that is so hot. Now, picture the same situation, but replace Tenacious C with Tasteless Ginny.
Oh.
And there she is.
Okay.
You get it?
Uh-huh. Okay. How old are you, C?
23.
You're 23. All right, so we know the cutoff date is somewhere between 23 and 65 now. We know it's somewhere there. We've got to figure it out.
Here's Andrew. Andrew, you're on Run of Fez.
Wow, my knees are still weak.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Hey,
Andrew.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, when I was growing up, I would go to my grandparents' house, and they were like right off the boat from Italy, you know?
Nice.
And for dessert, they would fill up a glass with halfway with wine and then cut up peaches and put inside it, and that was dessert as a kid.
It was great.
So it's kind of a sangria thing for dessert?
Yeah.
And how old were you?
I don't know, like 7, 8 years old.
See, the Europeans have no problem with that at all. The kids are having wine with dinner. They're having beers with dinner.
Yeah, because it's not enough to really get drunk. But you get a little buzz.
Yeah, but I don't know. You've got to figure that there's more drunks in Europe than there is here. Wouldn't you guess, Fuzz?
Yeah, because it's just constant. It's nonstop.
Yeah. And they're terrible at it.
And they will, they have no problem missing the rest of the day at work or whatever.
Right.
Taking a day off. Just getting drunk.
I mean, we're talking about...
Falling under a table at a party.
But you're talking about the Italians who basically drink to have food with. And the French are the same way. But then go up a little further and look at those Scottish people, the Irish people, the English people. They drink like there's no tomorrow.
There's no feast involved there.
No.
The white trash of Europe.
Yeah, they are. And then they'll actually even skip meals because they're drunk. And just headbutt each other instead of having some food. Here is Ted. Ted, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Hey, Ted. Hey, buddy.
I'm just calling to say that I started liking it when I was 5 years old when my pop used to give me a shot, a whiskey.
He would give you a shot of whiskey at 5?
Yeah, we sneak it, during the family parties. And it was a good time, me and my cousins and stuff, and it was always fun, It was so much fun that when we were 12, we broke into a house, and instead of stealing jewelry, we stole the liquor.
Sure.
Talk about fun.
Yeah, they talk about fun.
So that was just a straight shot. It wasn't like a mixed drink or anything. Just
no, it was a straight shot of whiskey. Yeah, he give you a couple little sips, and it made you feel fun,
Sure.
Made the fun time, and then you like the buzz that went along with it. So that's why you.
I think they found out you broke into that house.
Yeah, well, that's all right. There was a cop asleep in a chair. My buddy went to take the cop's hat because he figured he left it. But there was a cop underneath it. He was sleeping.
All right, thanks, Ted. Well, you better deal with your life there, buddy. You got phones ringing and stuff going off.
Sirens going off.
Here's
answer one of them.
Here's Anthony. Anthony, you're on the Fez.
Hey, Anthony.
What's up? 13503 tonight.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, what's up, buddy? I was in Amsterdam last year. Of course, a lot of the substances are legal over there.
Right.
But you could always tell who the Americans are because they're the ones stumbling around like crazy. Because over there, as much as the substances are prevalent and legal, it's not as abused as it is by us.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe because of it's legal that they don't have to use it in such, quantities. Over there, they smoke pot mixed with tobacco. Meanwhile, the Americans are there choking their brains out, trying to get as wrecked as they can.
All right, but how many cigarettes mixed with tobacco are they smoking with pot and tobacco? Are they having 15 or 20 a day, or?
No, they go into the coffee house, and it would be usually 3 of the guys, 3 kids. You have to be 18, 3 or 4 kids sharing one. Or 2 kids, sharing one,
right.
Joint. Whereas the Americans it was me and my brother, smoking 3 or 4 joints in a sitting.
Now, what do those joints cost you over there?
A gram, well, now they got the euro. I don't know. A gram over there was 25 gilda, which was $12.50. But you can only buy per person 2 grams per transaction. So. Yeah, but you could just go from bar to bar, right? Exactly. But, the stuff there is so potent that, we were out of our mind. But the people, the natives there, they would smoke and then get on their bikes and ride around like nothing was going on.
Exactly. What's going on in Amsterdam? It's not like they're leading the world market and anything.
Well, space cakes.
I'm out of here, guys.
They're doing very well in space cakes, Fezzy. Hey, Maddie. Maddie, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Maddie.
How you doing?
Yeah.
See, my parents never, ever let me even touch, smell, taste any alcohol as a kid. But I've been a hardcore abuser since I was 13. And that's what I think led to it.
Yeah, that's exactly true. There's a lot of people that are like Southern Baptist or whatever, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to have some party Leonard Skinner kid.
My parents weren't religious or anything, but
right.
They kept me away from it.
But did they act like? Did they kind of mythify it by talking about it? Did they turn it into something cool by?
Well, they drank. They still drink, but they never let me, touch or smell it.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. They say that if your parents drink, you're more likely to drink. And if your parents are alcoholics, and you would think that would drive you away, you're more likely to be an alcoholic. If you have parents that abuse alcohol, you're probably more likely to abuse.
I'm full-fledged.
Yeah. But at the same case, isn't
hardcore.
it? Yeah. You know, you can't start blaming it, I don't think, on anything other than each person. They have to know who they are and be able to handle yourself, no matter what it is.
I always think of that Todd Marinovich kid. Was with the Raiders?
Yeah.
And never had a bad thing in his life. His dad was so strict with him. The kid never had a Big Mac, never mind a beer or a joint. Made it to the NFL and went nuts.
Yeah.
Just went insane. Did everything.
The minute he had his own personal freedom, right?
Yeah. The minute he was out on his own, had his own money. Big money.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't hide a kid from the world. You know, they say you're better off to just be a little honest with him.
What, Rory Hamptons?
Well, I realized when I turned 21, I've been drinking heavily until I turned 21. And once I turned 21 and we could go out to the bars, all our friends were kind of like, we're 21 now we're allowed to drink. And it's like, what's the big deal?
You and your buddies just stayed home and made out?
No, I mean,
nice.
we still went out to the bars, but it wasn't as
Gay bars?
No, it was regular bars. Lots of women in them.
Sure.
Tomorrow's Rory's birthday.
By women, you mean cross-dressing guys?
No, they were all women.
With penises.
No, well, I didn't check every single one of them, but I'm sure a couple of them were.
Okay, Roy, I don't know your point of this, and we're not
I don't understand.
We're not going for a gay angle right now. What we were trying to do, we were talking about should the drinking age be dropped to 18? Would be more problems or less? I'll tell you, Fez, you've come up with a good point that maybe this, if you want to drink at 18, you can't drive. You get one license or another. You get a driver's license or you get a drinking license.
Oh, nice. Wow, I wonder what most kids would go for. Boy, I would hope driving.
And if you get caught doing either one, you lose both till you're 25.
There you go. Can't do either. I love it. Take that to Felix Ortiz.
So, because you can't have a kid out on the road. And one thing about being younger, you do feel like you can drink and drive. That's the only way I could actually drive to the shore. I wasn't about to make that ride straight.
My niece is a maniac. She just turned 18, and I don't trust her to do a thing. I couldn't imagine. She drives poorly. She's already been in 2 accidents, and I can't imagine her, with a drink. She's so bad at everything already. I can't imagine her, under the influence.
I'm just glad she's not listening tonight, because she'd be crying at her house. Why is Auntie Fezzi talking this way? So you're saying if it was up to you, she wouldn't be driving?
No, not even at 18 she would be driving.
What age would you let her drive?
21. And even then, I'd have to wait till 21.
Yeah, I'd go to 24 with her. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. It is the Ron and Fez Show.